Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Make a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Hello, Facebook world! Welcome to another episode of Steven's Monday Trivia. I'll bet you want Monday Trivia now! Well, guess what? You're gonna get it, because here with me to chat today, to join me on my Monday Trivia chat, is the one and only Veruca Salt herself, Miss Julie Dawn Cole. Hey, Julie!
Hello, Stephen. Hello. And here am I in the UK in Hampshire, and there are you in Philadelphia?
Yes. I want to say this is such a dream, such an honor talking to the one and only Miss Julie Dawn Cole, Veruca Salt. I have to ask you the first thing.
Yep.
When people stop you on the street, do they ever say, will you say, I want it now? How many people have asked you that?
Of course they do, all the time, and they kind of, have that sneaky little look, will you say it, will you say it? And it's like, yes, I did think maybe I should sort of record it and go into greetings cards or something, so that you open up the greetings card and it plays that line. But yeah, I do get asked to say, I want it now.
Ah, yes, thank you. Okay, so when you went to audition for Willy Wonka, what was your audition like? Or did you think that you were going to be auditioning for Violet, or how did that work?
Yeah, the audition process. I was at theatre school, and auditions were just a normal part of the academic day. We had auditions all the time for things. And all the girls at my school were of a certain age and height, were marched into the school hall. So we just left our lessons, marched in there. And it's literally a lineup, a cattle call. And that was the first one. And then, I don't know however many of us were shortlisted and didn't even really know what it was for at that point. And then, a couple of shortlistings that, we were going to be called back. I think maybe a further couple of times. So I went back once, and there were maybe 10 girls or something. And then I went back again, and maybe there were 5 girls. And then I can't remember the last one, whether they were just, I do remember one of the other girls. I always think, gosh, she must hate me so much because she came that close to getting the part. So yeah, and they didn't have a script at that point, not ready to read. So the night before the final audition, I had to go out with the school bus driver and go and find a copy of the book. This was 1970 when we were casting for it. And the book was published in 68. It wasn't a hugely well-known book at that time. So we got a copy of the book. I read it overnight and thought, wow, this is amazing. And oh my goodness, how are they going to do this chocolate room? And, just amazing. So that's, when I first read the book was the night before the final final audition. And they didn't have any songs ready either. They still weren't sure who was going to have songs at this point, but they'd said, I think there was going to be a song for Veruca. And sorry, in the answer to the other question, yeah, I always knew it was Veruca. I was never auditioning for Violet. They wanted an English girl to play Veruca. And so my audition song, they didn't have any songs ready, so I sang Happy Birthday. That was what they asked me to sing. So it's like, read from the book, sang Happy Birthday. And it was discussed, it was going to be a tricky song. It wasn't completed. And, if I wasn't up to it, they were quite happy they were going to get somebody else to dub it. And then I met with Walter Schaff, the music director, in his hotel in Park Lane, in the kind of lobby area, and there was a big grand piano there, and I'd learnt the song at this point. It's tricky because it's got funny syncopated rhythms and funny key changes and things like that. So, I'd learnt it, and I sang it with him, with Walter Schaff playing in the public area, and he went, yeah, you can do it.
Will you please watch your famous number with me while we do commentary by it? It is, honestly, it is my favorite song in the entire movie.
Here we go again. All right, sweetheart, all right. Now you'll get your golden goose as soon as we get
Okay.
home.
Now, that famous that famous red dress. Did
Yes.
you know that has been a lot of Halloween costumes or
I
people
know.
imitating Baruch Assault?
I know. And the most flattering one was, I think it was the year before last, Dolly Parton wore the red dress.
Dolly Parton wore that red dress?
She has done a veruca for Halloween, yeah. Which I was very thrilled and flattered, and she rocked it. And there was a photo of her Halloween, and she had a shopping cart with a golden goose and a golden egg and wearing the red dress. So.
Okay. Now, do you remember the choreography and how many times they had you go through this routine, take
Yep.
after take? So how many times they had you
Well, there's a
take
sequence.
those plastic wrappers and throw...
That's it. From after the cellophane, which is coming up in a minute. Actually, what I should say is also this was my 13th birthday.
This was your birthday.
Yeah. So this was my 13th birthday. And they had great problems with my hair as I was having my little tantrum here. Every time I, did this, my hair would end up all over my face. So they ended up trying to sort of just discreetly pin it back a little bit. So you can probably see two kind of tiny little clips there at the top. I was very concerned about this bit because I swear you can see my underwear. I didn't like doing that high kick in that short skirt.
You can't.
And then after the cellophane, which is the bit coming up in a minute, this yellow cellophane.
Yeah.
This next sequence, I think we did 36 times. And they had to reset every time. The ribbons had to go back. And so this bit right up until the boxes tumble and run, and stand there, and then there was the cut there. But that bit was 36 times because things didn't always fall in the right place.
Okay, now I am finally going to ask you this question. When you fell underneath the chute, what was waiting for you?
It's the garbage chute. What do you think?
Oh, come on. I always thought that you fell into a big net. Was that right?
No.
Okay.
No. Some cardboard boxes with a mattress on top and a couple of the stagehands there. I remember one was Billy Rowe, who was the assistant director's son. He was like 16 or something at the time. And another of the stagehands waiting there to stop me bouncing back up. Because once you fall, we didn't know, how much I was going to kind of spring back up, and by which time then the thing is closed, so I would hit my head. So yeah, cardboard boxes, mattress, nothing glamorous.
Now, I also wanted to ask you, you said in a commentary once that while you were filming the boat ride scene, you were actually scared of Gene Wilder. And that was a little astonishing to me, considering what a method actor you are. How did you, you're...
Yeah, not scared of him, but scared of that boat scene when he did the crazy, whoa, we just we'd know, we'd read the script.
I did, yeah.
So you see it on the page, but of course you didn't know how crazy he was going to go. I don't think I was, you may have got me mixed up possibly with Denise, because I think Denise was completely, Violet was completely freaked out by it. But it was it was a long couple of tedious days. The boat was put up on ladders, for want of a better word, like on a platform thing, so it was high up off the ground. So once you were in that boat, you were stuck in it. You couldn't get out of it, not without help anyway. So if you needed to go to the bathroom, then somebody would have to help you down. And all that terrible stuff was being projected behind us. So we watched it the first time, you go, oh my goodness, when the chicken gets its head chopped off. Yeah, absolutely. And that thing crawling over somebody's face.
Yes.
I think there are a few other things that probably didn't make the final cut, but so it was a strange day. I think the only thing that I remember Mel Stewart years later saying he wished he'd done, and I think he just didn't do it at the time. He should have put a wind machine on it, and he didn't.
Yeah. I remember in the commentary that you said that one of your favorite words is the word "keflugel."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were referring to the boat scene when you said to your daughters, "Look at my hair; it's all keflugel."
Yeah.
And then
Augustus Gloop.
Augustus Gloop. He said that keflugel means chicken.
Ah, right, that's right. Yes, he did. When we did, it's so long ago since we did that commentary. I mean, gosh, it's years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and they used to refer to Gene's hair. He had a kind of crazy little piece of hair that came out the side, and he just used to refer to it as the kaflugel. And yeah, the makeup lady used to say, I am sorting out your kaflugel. So yeah, that's right. I do remember. Yeah, Michael, who played Augustus Gloop, Michael Volner, saying, yeah, kaflugel means chicken.
Do you remember what it was like watching Violet blow up into the blueberry?
Yeah, well, it was done in stages. So, you know, the first part is they had her in a rubber suit, basically under her clothes. So a special, her costume also, and, you know, 2 or 3 versions that were going to expand. And so they stuck a hose up the back, you know, it was like a diving rubber suit,
Mhm.
and then started to blow her up that way. So that's how it's started. And then with blue lights on her face, and then she was cut into a styrofoam, not she was cut, but the ball, it was like a styrofoam ball that they cut her shape into, and, you know, stuck the clothes on. But poor Denise, you know, once she was in that styrofoam ball, she was in it all day, you know, little hands and feet, you know, just waggling around at the end. And then, you know, we'd break and go for lunch, but she couldn't get out of this thing. And she was stuck there, and they just had somebody turn her every 15 minutes, like a sort of chicken on a spit roast or something.
I feel like I'm there with you watching it. It is incredible how. Now, I wanted to play a clip of one of your most classic works and famous works, and this happened after Willy Wonka. This was a TV series that you were in called Angels, and
Oh,
this is a brilliant scene with you and June Watson.
yeah.
And the premise of this scene is, so you were a nurse,
That's right.
and a patient was a diabetic, or
Yeah,
a patient could not eat chocolate or something,
that's right.
and you fed her the chocolate anyway, and then she goes off on you, and then you retaliate, and then you just go off on her, and
Yeah.
then but the chemistry is just unbelievable. And do you remember filming this scene? And I want to tell you why I brought up this scene.
I do remember it very well. It was an episode called Appraisal from a series called Angels that I was in for 2 years. And I was a student nurse, and my character was always nice and soft. And she was always in trouble because she always kind of overstepped the line, and, you know, didn't obey the rules really, because she was so nice. And we were shooting that. It was BBC. And that scene, I think, ran for something like 13 minutes, which is kind of unheard of now. You know, a scene between 2 people that was 13 minutes long. And it was also the time that the BBC were doing a kind of work to rule. There was a sort of semi-strike going on. And what was happening was, if you didn't get your filming in by the time the clock stopped, the plugs would be pulled, and, you know, that was it, filming over. And back in those days, when we used to film, you'd have a kind of a time frame that it had to be done in. So it was you rehearsed it, and then we recorded it like a play, as it were. So it was like it was live. So the filming time was 7:30 till 10 p.m. That was it. And because they were doing but very often things would overrun. But this, with the work to rule, it was 10 p.m. and they were going to pull the plugs. Anyway, the lovely cameraman of the BBC, I'm you know, honoured and thrilled to say, they thought that scene was so terrific, and it was overrunning, and it was between the 2 of us, and there were tears, and, you know, having to produce your own tears and everything, and they ignored the work to rule, and they carried on filming.
It was incredible. The
Yeah.
reason I brought up that scene is because I remember you did in an interview a few years ago when you were talking about that series Angels, and you said that you had to keep auditioning for that role a few times, when that didn't make sense to me, because you also said that at that time Willy Wonka was not a cult film. And if Willy Wonka does not constitute a cult film, then what does? And why? What I don't understand is, why did they keep having you? They knew exactly who you were. You were one of the most famous child actors in the world. So can you explain that?
Well, at the time, so casting for this series was 1975. Willy Wonka didn't achieve its popularity or its cult status until after that, until some years
Wow.
later. So yeah, so Willy Wonka came out. It was not a box office success. No, it wasn't, and it has some terrible reviews. I'm looking around to see if
What?
it got some terrible reviews. I've got one here. I'll see if I can find it in a minute. But it said one of the reviews said it's fun but not very funny. Yeah, and something else. I mean, there was so it just disappeared. 3 weeks at the movie theaters and disappeared. So, and there was very much the distinction of that was my child career, and I did some other things as a kid, and then this was adult, and they were not interested in this rather bad kids movie. That was the perception at the time.
I can't believe it.
I know you're shocked, aren't you?
I am shocked. I thought that my whole life, I thought that Willy Wonka was one of the most revolutionary children's films in the world.
It took a while. It took a while. And then I think, if you think of when it came out at the time, family movies were Disney. They were all Disney, and children were lovely.
Mm-hmm.
You had the gorgeous little Potts children in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and you had the children in Mary Poppins. They were all lovely, neat and tidy. And then
there was the Witch Mountain kids.
That's right, and they're all still nice kids, yeah. And then you've got this movie where kids are horrible, and they effectively all get killed, or bumped off or what have you. So it was very dark, and people didn't know how to take it, I think. Gene Wilder also wasn't at that time, obviously, the big star that he is and came to be. So he was kind of known, but not so much. He wasn't the Roald Dahl's choice. He didn't want Gene Wilder. He wanted Spike Milligan.
Really?
Oh.
So what made him go with Gene Wilder?
That was the director's choice. So Roald Dahl, the writer, wanted it more Spike Milligan and crazy, and the director wanted Gene Wilder. And there were other people that were in the frame. Joel Grey has been mentioned.
Get out!
Yeah,
Jennifer.
Yeah. But they felt that, he was too short. That was one of the things that they thought because of the Oompa Loompas, Joel Grey being not tall man himself. So that's why he was ruled out. And somebody else that really wanted to play it, which would have been interesting and was very disappointed that he didn't get a look in, was Fred Astaire.
What? Did you ever meet Fred Astaire?
No, I didn't. But he met Leslie Bricusse, who wrote the music, and they were playing golf or something in the, Beverly Hills or whatever. And he said, and Fred Astaire rather wistfully said to Leslie Bricusse, "Why wouldn't they let me play Willy Wonka?"
I can't.
It would have been very different, wouldn't it? It would have been very different. Yeah.
Okay. I have one question and one request before we wrap. Okay. And here is my question that the world is going to know. Have you ever met the Queen?
I have not met the Queen.
I was talking about Madonna.
Oh, I haven't met her either. No, I haven't met either of them. Yes, Madonna is the Queen of England. I have met Prince Charles, and I did meet the Queen's sister, the Queen's sister, Her Majesty's, not Her Madge. Princess Margaret was the guest, the royal patron at the London premiere of Willy Wonka.
Okay.
So I got to meet Princess Margaret then, and her two children. They came to the movie.
And before we wrap, I have to ask you one request. Will you please sing a song? Will you sing Pure Imagination for me?
I will try. I don't think I can do it justice in the way that lovely Mr. Wilder did, but it is a very beautiful song. And when you hear it, and you just hear those opening notes.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. So let me, I have to pick my key. Hold on.
Oh my God, you're going to sing for me. These are moments that I live for. I'm going to, okay.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What you'll see will defy explanation. That's all you're going to get.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Actually, I will do something else for you.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Stay there, right there. Here we have.
Ah, that's the original sheet music to I Want It. The original. That was the.
So there we go. But so this is what. Yeah. But it's got different lyrics. So here we go. Let me go. I want a dress. I want a million. One just like Jillian and one that's Brazilian and golden vermilion. Give them to me now. I want a cow. I want a brown cow. Make my own milkshakes. You know brown cow milk makes the tastiest milkshakes. Get me a cow now. Then it goes into I want a party and all of that stuff. And then, what is it? And then it's got, I want a car. I want a sports car. Get me a fast one, a big shiny vast one, as fast as the last one. Give it to me now. This is a bit weird. I want a bomb. I want a time bomb.
No wonder they changed the lyrics.
Yeah, built like a clock, it ticks in someone's pocket, and bang, it's a rocket. Give it to me now. Mad words. And then what's the other bit? I want the works. I want the whole works. Toy shops and sweet shops and great big complete shops. And now is a word. No, and soon is a word that I hate. I can't wait. I want it now. I want the stars up in the heavens, Venus and Saturn arranged in the pattern and pinned on my dress like a flower. Where's my flower? I want it now. Very strange lyrics. I'm glad they changed them.
I like your version better.
Very strange. Anyway, there you are. I thought you would.
I love it. And I'm sure that your fans are going to go nuts over that.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't even realize I got this. I just found this. This was the program from the British premiere. And
how do you have that right on? How do you still have it?
That was Princess Margaret and the Children. So this was the program from the premiere.
Oh my God.
So there you go. Yeah, I still have a few bits and pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've got my version of this. This is the UK poster. So I've got the big poster. I have it in my other room. That was the original ad that they used to sell the film. Yep, that's right. It was the one that was on all the underground stations on the tube. But here it says, watch a 4-course dinner flavoured gum turn violet into a human blackberry. We didn't have blueberries in the UK at the time. So on the poster, they put blackberry. Weird stuff. So there we go. Some interesting trivia for you.
Oh, thank you. You hear that, everybody? Miss Julie Dawn Cole just gave you some amazing Monday trivia. You're welcome.
And this was the last photo that we had all taken together. Sadly,
there's Denise.
Yeah. So that was the last picture that we had taken.
There's you in Paris, and there's Peter Ostrom.
Yeah.
You still talk to Peter in Paris? And
yes, I do. I saw them a year ago. Actually, you might even like this. Your audience. and then here is the letter I used to write home to my mother.
Dear Mummy and Lynn, oh my God.
I've arrived safely. As you probably know, otherwise I wouldn't be writing this. I expect this is Monday the 24th of August, 1970. Sorry, I'm going on. You'll have to edit all of this out. I wouldn't be writing. I expect you're dying to know what it was like, so I'll start right from the beginning. The plane was a BEA Super 111. we sat about halfway down, but we couldn't get seats near the window. We were about 15 minutes late taking off. It was terribly cloudy, so we couldn't see the ground. I think I must have swallowed about 50 times before my ears stopped popping. We had dinner on the plane, which was fun. It was brought round on trays with sort of compartment things in them, with a slice of egg and cucumber and tomatoes and something. Blah, blah, blah. There was also a tiny Danish pastry. What else? I think we were flying at 2,800 feet and 500 to 800 miles per hour. I mean, this was the first time I'd ever been in a plane. We passed over Dover and Stuttgart, but you couldn't see anything. What I saw was München. That means Munich. That's where we were filming. When we got off the plane, it was raining, naturally. There was a blue bus waiting for us, like the new ones we will be having. When we got to the customs, a man in a green uniform went rambling on in German. So Sue, who's my chaperone, said English. And he said, "Have you anything to declare?" And I said no. When we first got into the building, we heard them announcing something about us on the intercom, and we had to go to the Lufthansa information desk. And then a man said somebody was going to come and collect us. Blah, blah, blah. And he gave us our living expenses and an envelope with loads of other papers in it and told us that we could go to the Bavarian party on Wednesday. So there we are. That was my arrival in Germany, and I think the hotel is lovely. It's got big chandeliers in the foyer and lovely carpets. What else? Yeah.
It's like I'm there with you right now. It's like you're bringing me along with your journey with you, and I feel like I'm living history. Living history.
They gave us a list of the rest of the cast and where they're staying. David Batley is the only one in this hotel. So far, Charlie and I are the only kids here, apart from the families of the actors.
And I know that you and Denise both really liked him.
Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you talked about that in the commentary. That you thought that you and her fought for days just to stand next to him.
I think it's in one of the other letters about oh yeah, here we go. So. P.S. Peter Ostrom asked me to go out with him, and I didn't say no, and I didn't say yes. Can I? If it's no, I don't mind, because I've got plenty of time left for that sort of thing. That was in my letter. How sweet is that? Age 12.
That is incredible.
There you go. Bit more trivia for you. So I hope.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that little.
I don't want this moment to end. I'm talking to somebody who I idolized as a kid and grew up watching. Veruca Salt and Willy Wonka has been such a prevalent part of not only my life as a love for films and one of my inspirations for wanting to become a filmmaker, but it is something that every generation, I think, needs to see, with all of the lessons and all of the hidden Easter egg meanings of what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
Don't steal. There's consequences to everything that you do.
Yeah. That line at the end. So shines a good deed in a weary world. We need to remember that. Absolutely.
Well, I want to say thank you for talking to me. I feel like this interview went 5 seconds long. I don't want it to end. I could talk to you forever.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything to your fans before we wrap?
What should I say? I want it now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and what I should say to them is, don't be a bad egg.
That's exactly right. There are plenty of those, but there's also a lot of good eggs in this world. You are proof of that. You are not a bad egg. You are never a bad egg.
Thank you. All right. So it's been fun, and I'll say farewell and have a lovely day in Philadelphia.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day out there in the UK. We're in England, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost evening, and during all these crazy times, I'm actually going to go and watch Hamilton on Disney Plus tonight, because enjoy
it. I saw it in Chicago. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
So that's it. I will be in my pajamas with a glass of wine watching Hamilton.
Enjoy it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Bye.
Julie.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I got a golden ticket. I got a golden ticket. I got a golden chance to make my way.